This message is for anybody that's struggling with something in your life or because of the things that are happening in the world right now. You feel like there's no results. You feel like there's no progress. You even feel like it's going backwards. But I'm here to tell you something. God, He's working behind the scenes. God, He's allowing certain things to play out in your life, in the world for a reason. And He works in seasons. He works as a group. He tests nations, He tests people groups, He tests a certain time. And this is why, even though it may be different for everybody, your individual life circumstance, oftentimes it's moving in a certain flow and direction. So this is why people that feel frustrated, they feel discouraged, they feel like giving up, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to persevere through this period of testing because God, He's in control. He knows what He's doing. And there's optics going on in terms of it has to allow it to play out in its full. Every single story in the Bible for which you were confused, if you were living in that moment, Joseph in prison for 2 years before rising to second to Pharaoh of all of Egypt, and then having to feed all of these people, 7 years famine, 7 years plenty, all these things happening. You could not have drafted this story up unless you were God Himself. And this is what's happening. So you have to realize, you have to get through this, your thick skull in some sense, of what's happening in front of you, that you think that you can connect the dots 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you think you know something. But rather, there are other things that have to happen. And you can see parts of it in hindsight. But during the process, you won't know, you won't understand. And so this is why this concept of faith, this concept of trusting the Lord and just being at peace, being still before Him and allowing Him to work whatever He has to work. That doesn't mean you have to be inactive. That doesn't mean you have to do nothing. You have to play your part. But that doesn't mean you have to be anxious. That doesn't mean you have to worry. That doesn't mean you have to have all these negative thoughts consuming you, because that's not the intent nor the will of God for you during a time of waiting, during a time where God is working His hand right now. So He's taking down the enemy. He's taking down certain strongholds. He's breaking barriers, and he's allowing breakthrough to happen in due course, in His time. You can see the trajectory, the direction. It's a good direction, but yes, we live in a fallen world. Yes, we live in a sinful society, and Christ will come back to redeem. He will restore. We will have a new heaven, a new earth, all of that, as the Bible prophesies. But until then, we have to get through this time. There's work to be done. There's a great commission. There's evangelism. There's discipleship that you need to do. You have to you play your part. You only have 100 years on this earth, give or take, and you must steward that time wisely. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.